City Council of Connersville is now in session. Please rise. We'll be led by the Pledge of Allegiance by Councilman Dave Nutty.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now we'll have our invocation by Reverend Don Miller.
Might say just appreciate the opportunity to come and pray for you at this meeting.
Appreciate you doing it.
Okay, let's pray. Our Father in heaven, we're thankful for this beautiful spring day that you provided for us today. Father, we like all the seasons, but today was simply a delightful day, and we would like to especially thank you for it just now. Father, pray for our country and for the opportunity that we have to come and meet in this location at this time in freedom and in liberty to make decisions for our own community. I just pray, Father, that you'll be with this meeting tonight. Bless those who are a part of that. Bless each one. The decisions that are made, may they all be for the benefit of our community. Father, we know that there are many, many organizations in this town who do a lot for our community. Civic organizations, churches, just individuals, Father, who are concerned about our city. Father, we wish you would just bless them in their work, allow them to do what they do to the best of their ability. Father, we pray for the ending of school this week. Be with teachers and students as they wrap up their work, that they may have a successful ending of the school year. And Father, we don't want to forget our mothers. We celebrated them yesterday, and we know, Father, that mothers are held, are cherished in our hearts and in our minds. Some have their mothers with them just now, and Father, some don't. But Father, the memory is there, and I just pray, Father, that those who have their mothers would cherish them each and every day. And Father, we're just thankful for your Son, Jesus, who gave us an opportunity of eternal life by coming to this place and going to the cross. But Father, he left the cross behind, and now provides for us an opportunity of eternal life, but also, Father, for abundant life each and every day. Amen. And Father, just end today with this comment. May each one of us brighten the corner where we are. We pray this all in your Son's name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, sir.
If everyone would please turn off their cell phones or put their ringers on. We'll have roll call.
Councilman Bishop,
Present.
Councilman Nobby,
Present.
Councilwoman Montgomery,
Present.
Councilwoman Phillips,
Present.
Councilman Nutty,
Present.
Councilwoman Durham, Councilman Frank.
Here.
Okay, we have a quorum. We have enough for the business. You have received the minutes of the May 1st meeting. Is there any additions or corrections? If not, I'll entertain a motion to accept them.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any more discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Okay, Carol?
Good evening. Overtime funds for the police department have been depleted. We're asking for an additional appropriation of $25,000 and hope that will get us through the end of the year.
Rosemary, you're smiling.
I'm not sure why. At least somebody is.
The silence is loud.
It is.
I think we want to start out with 10,000.
We can advertise for 25, and when it goes to the public hearing, we can make the change at that time. She has hired 2 new officers just this year. I think that is probably the key factor in why we've been hitting the overtime so much, because we were still really short for Jeff Counselor since he passed last year.
Yeah, we hired in January to replace Jeff, and Officer Durston will be out of the academy the 3rd week in June and on the road. And we hired today put Josh Tudor on the road to replace Dennis Perkins, who will retire June 7th. So it's actually saving quite a bit of money in 2 weeks.
So can we go ahead and advertise for an additional appropriation of $25,000? I need a motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Yeah, we have a motion and a second to let Carol advertise for Rosemary advertise for $25,000. Is there any more discussion?
I've been pretty clear on my views on overtime for a while. I mean, I understand the situation, I truly do. But, you know, we don't have much control over anything besides purse strings. And I think it's time we start exercising that option.
Can we do a roll call vote, please?
Yes, sir?
Councilwoman Montgomery,
Yes.
Councilwoman Phillips,
Yes, I mean, have to be paid.
Councilman Nettie,
Yes.
Councilman Frank.
This is for future overtime, not already worked overtime.
Correct.
No.
Councilman Bishop,
No.
Councilman Nabi,
No.
3-3?
yeah.
Yes.
Can I say that there was only $15,000 put in the budget for overtime this year? And we were certainly set up to fail from the beginning, and we did. We are failing, and, you know, we were set up to fail.
You weren't set up to fail, we don't have so much money to work with, period.
We have minimum manpower for the safety of the community and our
I understand,
officers.
but we also have a minimum amount of money to work with, and that's the issue. I want to go through the budget again with a fine tooth comb to make sure, but we did that when we did the budget. But again, if we don't have the money, we can't spend it, period.
We don't spend a dime more than what we have to.
I
I
understand.
understand that. It's just,
What we have to and what we have is two different things.
We
If you
are
want-
operating on the minimum amount of money that this police department can operate on.
When you have 16 officers that has 7 weeks of vacation, that takes overtime to help cover that. And
True.
I understand that, you know, they just received the first raise they received in 10 years, and what they were, the option was given to them over those 10 years. I don't know when it happened, but they received overtime instead of a pay increase, and that is what is really causing a lot of these difficulties right now.
Yeah, we haven't yet spent what Officer Counselor's salary would have been, so.
Well, and that's why I was pretty much adamant on changing the vacation structure because of that. I mean, that we just can't.
And
do
I
that.
received-
And I think the council did that.
We did.
We did,
Yes.
but it's effective who was hired.
Right, it's
The
for
two
new
new ones.
hires,
Right.
but
Yeah.
I mean, at least it's a start because
It's a
it's
start,
just,
so,
yeah,
yeah.
7 weeks vacation.
And I guarantee you, Carol just don't ask for who wants to work overtime and bring people in to work.
I don't think anybody's saying that. I think what we're saying is, there's only so much money that we have. If there's money that was budgeted for Officer Counselor that has not been spent yet, I have no problem transferring that to overtime fund. I have no problem whatsoever.
Another problem with that is I was given no additional appropriation to pay for the raise. So, it's gotta come from somewhere.
And you know, because we did not anticipate a raise.
I know,
Yeah.
I understand that, but just keep in mind on my end,
But Carol's doing an excellent job with the department, and I want to thank you, Carol.
no problem, thank you.
I think you are too, Carol.
So passed 4-3.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, going down to item B, we have,
Resolution reimbursement for the police, 2017-28, 2017-29, 2017-30. The first 2017-28 is reimbursing the police overtime, $2,933.25, covering the Operation Pullover reimbursement grant. Resolution 2017-29 is reimbursing the police in the telephone budget for $50. Resolution 2017-30 is a reimbursement of $650 in the cemetery building material supply from the insurance payment to repair the fence.
Mr. Mayor, I move to accept resolution 2017-28, 29, and 30.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to pass pending orders 2017, 28, 29, and 30. Is there any more discussion? Okay, if not, all in favor, say by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. And Beth, you want to comment on the drug-free workplace ordinance?
Well, only to say that we have fixed it, I think, the way you wanted it. So there it is in front of you with those changes. And if you don't remember, it was with regard to drug testing, which is section 7, page 3, top of the page. The city of Connersville, Indiana may ask employees to submit to random alcohol and drug tests. And then alcohol or drug tests will be required for employees, and then it gives you the circumstances, so I believe that's what you stated you wanted. So we made those changes, and I reviewed the police contract, and I was mistaken, it does not say that they can't be tested. I was confusing that with the polygraph, so that was my mistake, so I think that's how you want it now.
Yeah.
Looks good.
And the will, it was in what paragraph?
It's the will was talking about that if they failed, they would be prosecuted, and if you recall, we had a discussion that that's not up to the council whether people will be prosecuted or not, so we left that, I think I put may be prosecuted, but ultimately that's not your decision.
Mr. Mayor, I move to accept pending ordinance 33.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any more discussion?
This is good, Ms. Beth. Thank you.
Okay, if not, all in favor, say by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, is there a move to suspend the rules and go to third and final?
So moved. Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to suspend the rules and go to third and final. All in favor, say by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Need a motion to go to third and final reading.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to pass on third and final reading. Is there any more discussion? If not, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Passed.
Item F is pending ordinance 3339, salary ordinance amendment. As requested, I am trying to put a note in there explaining why we're amending it.
Appreciate that.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, Rosemary.
The contract really didn't break out like the temporary EMT and paramedics wages. And so when the original salary ordinance was updated, they did not get the pay raises that the EMT and paramedics received January 1st. So that was fixing that. And I also asked the union rep if there could be more clarification in the union, in the contract whenever they go to negotiate that the next time.
Okay, you have Rosemary's nice talk on that.
Mr. Mayor, I move to accept pending ordinance 3339.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to pass on first reading, pending order 3339. Is there any more discussion? If not, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, it's passed. Okay, is there a motion to suspend the rules and go to third and final reading?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to go to third and final reading, suspend the rules. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Now I need a motion to pass on third and final reading.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to pass on third and final reading. Is there any more discussion? If not, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Okay. This was done for the fire department. Oh, there he is.
This is with Superior Oil and us, when they built a new building, the fire department connections are on the outside facing to the north, and the hydrants on the other side of the alley. They own both sides of 16th Street, and they're asking that both sides be yellowed. It affects no public parking. It's just what we would like to have done.
That's a one short block,
Yeah.
Iowa to west.
I don't think there's hardly anybody ever parks
There
there.
are no
No, it-
houses there.
no,
You can
and-
look at the map I gave you.
There
there.
You can buy there on the way.
Yeah,
And
who,
there was
who's,
one truck parked there, but it was, yeah.
It's
who's
very
parking
big.
there is their employees, and they feel they have enough parking for their employees. So they would like to have it yellowed. Beth did all the work on the,
I don't think anybody will be mad since there aren't any houses there, so you're not taking away their parking spot on the street.
That's a one-way street west.
Yeah.
Mr. Mayor, I move to accept pending ordinance 3340.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to pass pending orders 3340 on first reading. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Is there a motion to suspend the rules and go to third and final reading?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to suspend the rules. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Need a motion to go third and final?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion to go to third and final reading on pending orders 3340. Is there any more discussion? If not, I'll pass by signifying by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay.
thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Long.
Can you open the public hearing?
Okay, we'll close the meeting and open the public hearing. This here's for a transfer of $90,000. Let's see,
It's not a transfer, it's for additional purpose.
yeah, it's additional for a first aid unit. Rosemary, would you like to explain that, please?
Well, with, when we had to do the budget, that was prior to when, the final numbers were in on how much revenue the EMS and the transfer business was generating. So we did not, put enough in the additional appropriation, and also included, Blue and Company's Medicaid, fee for 2014 was not included as well. So that's some of the reason why we're having to do it this early, and I anticipated the 90,000 should take care of the rest of the year if we don't get slapped with a 2015 Blue and Company fee.
Rosemary, does this have wages in it?
No, this is just the other contractual
That's what I
services.
thought. Okay.
This is what we pay ambulance billing service, a percentage of the revenue that they collect.
Yeah.
And then we also pay the Blue and Company for when they take care of the Medicaid additional running the numbers to be able to receive that income.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, this is a, anybody got anything to say about it? This is the public hearing. Yes. Come to the podium, please.
Just a question, and probably more for the sake of the public, and for my edification too. Is there a distribution between Blue and Company and the other you talked about?
There's a yes, Blue and Company takes care of the Medicaid reimbursements that we've been receiving the last 6 months, 9 months. The ambulance billing service takes care of billing day-to-day runs.
So you said it was a 14 bill,
Um,
2014 bill from,
That process is running a little bit behind, like physical years.
Yeah.
I was just curious what the 14 bill was from Blue and Company.
$15,000. That's what the contract was signed for on 13 and 14.
And so does that go up proportionate to the,
No, the contract that we signed for 16, 17, and 18 is, I think, averages out at $5,000 a year. So when they do the Medicaid reimbursement numbers for 16, they'll charge us $6,000. When they run 17, it'll be 5. When they run 18, it'll be 4.
Just a question, that's all.
That's all right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dan.
Okay, is there any more questions? If not, I'll close the public hearing, open up the council meeting. Is there any council members that will speak to this?
Where's this Blue and Company located? Rosemary, just for my edification.
They're
Is it in
Indiana.
Indy?
Indiana.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, looking for a motion or,
Mr. Mayor, I move to accept pending ordinance 3341.
Second.
do we have a motion in a second to pass 3341 on first reading? Is there any more discussion?
Hey, Rosemary, quick question. On the March spike, on the decrease, was that due to, I think I remember it was due to like the payments come in from the reimbursements. Did that come in March?
I tried to break out
Should be.
the reimbursement on a separate line. I don't have that in front of me, so I can't. We have the email still.
Why do I not see that?
It should be. Maybe it is.
Did we get 2 of those? Or was that last, we got one last fall?
Last year, we got one, and then we got a supplemental thing, that was like 13 last year, and then we got a
That's what-
supplemental thing. We had to pay like 24,000 to get 75,000
Yeah,
back, so we
right.
netted like 47 additional $1,000 out of this supplemental Medicare reimbursement thing. So the $67,411.88 that we received in February,
Came
that
out in
is the 2015 medical reimbursement.
Okay.
And so I anticipate probably June, July, where we will probably have to pay, say, approximately $25,000 out again to receive $75,000.
I just want to make
Which
sure I
we will
understood the
do.
spike.
That's a good investment.
That's a good trade.
The spike in the expenses,
No, just on the share side. Yeah, it was the expenses, but that was due to the money coming back in from the reimbursement time, is what I was assuming.
it spiked in February when we had to
Well,
pay the
I'm talking
road
about
company.
the drop, sorry. Spike down.
Oh.
In March.
For an example, what he's asking about, total receipts in January was $106,000, $573, $106,573. February was $99,527. March, $131,020. April, the receipts dropped down to only $79,565.39. Now, can I answer why the insurance companies are slower to pay, or why the individuals are slower to pay? I can't.
No, my question was that due to getting a reimbursement from?
It should not have.
Okay,
It
that was
should
my
not have.
question.
But if you also notice, the runs for January was 397, February 353, March 411, April 401.
Right.
So, I mean,
Staying consistent.
It is.
the runs in February are just a little bit lower by,
Probably is.
by 45.
Shorter months, too.
45
They came right
runs.
back in
And
March.
it's a shorter month.
So, thank you.
2 days.
Okay, is there any more discussion? Okay, we have a motion and a second on the floor. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Would you like to suspend the rules and go to third and final reading?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to suspend the rules. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, need a motion to go third and final reading.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any more comments to be made? Okay, if not, all in favor, signify by saying aye. All opposed? Thank you. Okay, we'll go to section I. This here's a pending ordinance on a transfer station contract amendment. Let's see, we have the,
Councilman Nutty and Councilman Bishop and I.
would you like to speak to this, Dave? I think you led this one.
Sure. If you look at the printout you have, which is the entire agreed, temporary agreed contract, depending on how the board or the council chooses, you'll first notice this, the dates are changed. Other than dates, you'll see on page 13 where there is a new benefit. You see that in red, it's a new section. What they're doing here is they have requested the same benefit that several other departments have. They get 10 sick days a year. They're asking to have the option, if they so choose, to sell up to 10 per year, although they can ask for it one time per calendar quarter. Other than that, it's just date changes. There's no money change in this whatsoever.
None.
I do want to point out a uniqueness of this, and that is their original agreement ended the end of this calendar year. They're asking for this agreement to begin at the beginning of 2017. I'm not sure if I got the full answer from them or not, but it's my understanding that the reason why they want to do that, it gives them this year to come back and talk to the new negotiating committee as opposed to us.
So if you look at page 17 at the top, the final copy that I thought I gave to be distributed should say at the top, it's understood and agreed that the provisions of this agreement are deemed to be both retroactive and separate. And if retroactive, is that in your copy?
That's
the word retroactive?
You've got it on mine.
Okay. You're going to sign the one that says retroactive, and that's what's going to be enacted. So it's retroactive to the beginning of this year. And Councilman, I seem to recall the other reason that we wanted to get them on the schedule of going from January 1 of 17 to December of 2020 was to get them on the same schedule as the other bargaining units, so
Correct.
they would be if we do that.
Yes.
I can say that their negotiating team came in originally with many requests. After discussion with us, caucusing, and then a later meeting later in the month, they understood where we were as a community, requested no additional pay. I appreciate their understanding.
They did do that, and I do too.
Okay. Is there a motion to pass on first reading?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to pass pending ordinance 3342 on first reading. Is there any more discussion? If not, all in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, is there a motion to suspend the rules to go to third and final reading?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to pass on, to suspend the rules and go to third and final reading. Is there any more discussion? Okay, all in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, need a motion to go to third and final reading?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any more discussion? If not, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay.
I appreciate Mike, Beth working with me very well, and I stayed in contact with Councilman Frank also. That's why his name is on there also.
Okay, is there any old business to come? If not, we'll go down to miscellaneous business. Like I said, we've announced that we sent a note in your emails of what will happen on January 5th. And so I just want to.
June 5th?
June 5th, yes, thank you, Rosemary.
Yeah.
June 5th. I just want to let you know that that's going to be a good day. It's a new day coming. So go on from there and go to miscellaneous business, public forum?
I
Anything?
have something, Your Honor. I don't know how many of you people reads the letters to the editor. But there was this letter in the paper from this 80-year-old lady. And I took the time to call her because if you read this, it's pretty sad. It's sad for our city. It's sad to entertain new business coming in. And it's sad that we're not doing our job as far as keeping the city clean. She says, I'm 80 years old. I'm on a lot of meds. I'm not able to do any work. I mow my yard and another one too. I try so hard when in pain. And I told her name is Bradella Harding. And Mrs. Harding, I want to commend you for what you're doing. And I just praise you. And she's complaining about the alley behind Frazee Center. So I'm asking the street department and police, have you looked at that, or would you look at it, please, for her effort and what she's doing?
Is it an alley?
I'm not sure the location they're talking about, because they're behind Frazee Center, there is no alley.
That's what I thought too, but I couldn't convince her that there wasn't when I
Unless they're
talked.
talking about the road itself.
They might be talking about 9th Street. Well, that's the only one that'd be, that's not behind her.
Frazee Center.
Yeah.
It says it says here,
Yeah.
I try to clean Frazee Alley, but I'm old and in pain, and no one wants to sit in their backyard and look at all this trash.
Then she's talking about the drive around.
For the school.
No, it would be whoever's using Frazee Center at the time, it'd be their
Oh,
responsibility.
okay.
It's their
She
responsibility.
said
to
she
care
spoke to the Frazee people and got no response, so I just thought it necessary that I call her and talk to the lady, and I mean, to be 80 years old and just do
Well,
what she's
that's where
doing.
the Haven is right now.
Yeah.
Am I correct that that building is no longer under FOP control?
Right.
It's back in the city's hands?
Well, the
No,
Haven,
FOP rents it to the Haven.
The park department is?
No,
Who does?
FOP. So
yeah,
that's still,
it's sublet.
They've been doing a lot of work on that building, but is the alley that, or is the road that bad?
No, that's it right there.
I don't know, I've used the Frazee Center quite often, and I haven't seen it look that bad.
I mean,
I don't know, I'm just telling her, reading what the lady put in her letter to the editor, and I just wanted to commend her because
That's the only thing it could be, is it be over, the shrubbery be overgrown.
That's the only thing I can think of, because I teach a class up there, and I've not noticed anything.
I'll do a drive-by.
Thank you, that's all I'm asking.
okay. Because, Robbie, you said how many letters out last week?
42,
42.
8 a day,
So,
Is that for tall grass?
yes.
Well, man, you could send like 1,000 for last week, because man, everybody's grass was tall.
I know, it's,
And
what's the,
I mean,
Robbie, what is the
Might
next
get one.
step after you send the letters? If they fail to respond, what's the next step you take?
We have to wait till the certified letter comes back, the green card. Once that comes back, on that day, we count 10 days from that. If it's not moved 10 days, then I send a work order.
And then,
But
okay,
sometimes if nobody responds to that card and signs for that card, it can take up to 3 weeks for that card to come
Gotcha.
back because the mail goes out 3 different times, once a week.
they try
And
to
then
do
on the 3rd time, if there's no response, they send it back.
okay, thank you.
And then after that's done one time, then it's that way for the entire season, is that
We don't have
correct?
to send, they
one time.
maintain after that, go back and check for remows. If it needs remowed, they remow it, we don't have to do anything from that point on.
And if a business moves location, should they be mowing their old location?
It depends on who owns the property. It goes off the property tax roll off of the GIS mapping is where we pull that from,
Okay.
because the courthouse maintains those records of who owns the property.
Okay.
So it depends on them.
And if you don't know the property I'm talking about, then we'll talk about it
I
after.
already know, and the letters are already,
Are the letters are out?
well, they're going out tomorrow.
Very good.
Thank
Appreciate
you,
that.
Robert, for doing that.
he sent out 42 last week. So,
At least
but
the
we are,
effort started.
but we are trying to do something about it. And Robbie and Carol, they've been working very hard keeping up with this. And with all the rain and everything, it's hard to keep up with Mother Nature sometimes, so.
Yes, sir.
Let me mention another thing. If I understand correctly from John over at Channel 3, beginning this weekend will be the airing of last Friday's choir program, something that you really ought to see. It was excellent. Large group out there to see it. The kids are talented, greatly talented. They had good leadership in Roger Tyler and Sandy Toshlag. Just think that if you missed it live, make sure you watch it starting, I think, Thursday or Friday.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday at 8 p.m.
Okay. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, 8 p.m. Set your DVR.
And John, you might want to talk about your, you got some tickets still that you can give for the live.
Right, the Fayette County Line Bluegrass Show, which is next Tuesday. We still have, I believe, 10 tickets left. It's live in the studio.
Okay. Go ahead.
Keep you guys informed, I do need to advertise the Lloyd special distribution again. In order to spend the money or to appropriate the money, I've got to advertise it. This is the money that the state gave to us last year for local road and streets. I don't know if you remember, but 25% of those funds went into a separate appropriation for other, and then the balance went into the other appropriation for the roads and streets, and that is the money that we're using for the community crossings grant matching. It just needs to be reappropriated so it can be spent.
The email that you talked about, that you sent out, of the change that you're going to propose to do, is that going to go before the Board of Works?
Yes, it has to go before the Board of Works. Okay.
One last thing. Just want to let everybody know that the next 2 meetings in June, I won't be able to be here. I have a training I'll be teaching the first meeting, and then I'll be taking some students to FFA Convention. So but I just want to let the public know that. If you need to get a hold of me, still feel free to get a hold of me at my number. But I will not be at those 2 meetings.
Mm-hmm. He's not gonna be here, I guess, huh?
You gotta be here.
Thanks, Gabe. Okay, is there anything else you guys like to talk about from the public?
Carol, on that alley.
Well, that just for your information, that this is your meeting, so.
Carol, did you want to talk about this letter that you gave us? I'm just asking a
Is it
question.
the 11th Street?
Yes.
Yes.
19th Street?
Well, there's
No, it's
two.
11th Street.
Yeah,
Before
the
you
11th
talked about
Street.
The last meeting, we were gonna put
The last
on.
meeting, when we talked about it, I told you I would put up a camera and see what the usage of the alley is. And in 66 and a half hours, 125 cars used the alley, 57 west, 68 east, so it's pretty even, really, for the amount of usage and the direction. Mr. Moore at Moore Auto is not in favor of changing the alley to a one-way.
I got the call too.
I think we got that worked out, but.
Did you?
Yeah, I think so.
These numbers indicate that it's still required to be two-way, in my opinion.
I agree.
Okay.
But thank you for the
Is
work
there
that you put
anything-
into this. I mean,
The concern is the house at the alley and Grand, right?
Mhm. Actually, the complainant is one house
Yeah.
north
Oh, okay.
of that,
Yeah.
so.
the
Is
complaint
there any
is,
caution sign or anything could be put up?
Well,
Of course, there's limited
Children
area.
Yeah,
There's limited area.
we did do the children at play sign.
Yeah.
And that was their biggest request anyway. The changing the alley to a one-way was kind of a secondary request anyway. Their biggest request was the child at play sign.
I think the traffic count, and I appreciate you doing that, says it's going to be required two-way.
this gentleman called me just for council's information, and I put him on the Carol as bad as I hate to do it. but
That's
I think
okay.
That's where it needed to go.
I was glad to talk to him. Actually, I'd been trying to get
You
hold of
didn't
him,
just put him
so.
on the air.
Well, I'm sorry. I
Oh, you got it too, Deb.
Well, I didn't want to go around Debbie because it's her
That's
district.
fine.
And I called her.
It's all right, she
And
did me a favor.
his biggest concern was he has a garage behind that business. And I said, well, he said, then when they turn in there, they can't turn around and come back out on Main Street. And I said, well, it's no big deal if we change it to go, just keep going the other way. But Debbie and I talked about it. I'm sorry, I apologize. I didn't bring it up in that. But I called her as soon as he called me, okay? But thank
That
you,
was fun.
Carol,
That
for
was
your
fun.
effort.
That's
I
my job.
appreciate
Yeah.
it. I
And then there
do.
was another one about 19th Street. The citizen was in here, made a complaint, and it's just the findings from 19th Street. Now, that camera wasn't up as long, but I did only, excuse me, see 3 vehicles driving the wrong way. And the police department has increased patrol in the area. And the animal shelter, I just spoke with him again today, is taking care of the feral cat issue. And at this point, it appears that most of those cats are owned, so. And she also brought up changing Boulevard Place into a one-way. There's just a lot of vehicles, they're parking up on your curbs, but your curbs are only about this far off of the street. You know,
Well, and they gotta get up.
that's
'cause
your call.
If we would need to get a fire truck down through there, we couldn't get one. If everybody parks where there should be, you
Yeah,
can't
there's
get a
no
fire
way.
truck down there.
There's no way
Is that
a
right,
fire
Troy?
truck, could-
Is there parking on both sides of the street?
Yeah.
or even an ambulance probably, so.
Or a plow truck, or a trash truck.
Or trash trucks.
Or a pickup truck. I mean, it's pretty narrow.
Yeah.
Trash truck would
So
drive
as
the
far as
wrong
parking
way.
on the curb there and stuff, you almost have to do it. Okay.
Mr. Mayor, one thing I would like to encourage the people to do, I don't mind getting the phone calls because that's what I'm here for. And me being at large, I automatically try to call the person of that district, but most people that I've talked to, they don't know what district they live in, they don't know who their council person is. And I ask you, if you have a problem, this is the place to come and air it out at. I mean, so everyone can hear it and we don't have to go through this redundant every time. And I've told everyone this, I don't mind taking the phone calls, but it does no good if they don't come and represent themselves about their complaints, in my opinion. We pass it on here and they don't hear, maybe they don't even watch this, I don't know, but that's what this meeting's for, is for the city to come and be involved in it. So, there, I said it.
And I've been in contact with the complainant on the 19th Street, and I think she's satisfied with our findings and
Thank you for
increased
your effort. I
patrol.
appreciate it.
But
I do.
you know, I needed to, I will let her know after this meeting if she doesn't see it, what your decision is on the one-way up Boulevard Place.
Okay.
Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, is there anything else?
Thank you, Carol.
No problem.
If there's nothing else to come before the council, I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
You have a motion in a second. All in favor, say by saying aye. Aye. Adjourn.